moving on. Right now, two teams that started off slow, if you will, have seemed to hit their stride, right? We'll start over in the AFC. 3-4 games into the season, we thought that the Cincinnati Bengals might have been having a Super Bowl hangover, right? And as of late, that does not look to be the case, right? I think they are they, what are they, 8-4? 9-4. 9-4 and on a 5-game winning streak, including a win against the Kansas City Chiefs, including beating Cleveland. Jamar Chase is back, and they did not list a lot of this when Jamar Chase was out. What are we thinking now about the Cincinnati Bengals? I'm gonna come to you, Jay. You see them surging, 5-game win streak. They're the reigning AFC champs. I almost say, are they back? But are they now back in this conversation? Because for most of the year, it's been Buffalo and Kansas City's conference to lose, and then Miami jumped into that conversation, right? Mm-hmm. What do we think about the Bengals right now?
You know, with the Cincinnati Bengals, and I can't recall how long it's been since we've seen a reigning conference champion play with a chip on their shoulder. I think the Cincinnati Bengals heard too much talk of, well, if Lamar wasn't hurt last year, well, if the Ravens weren't hurt last year, they wouldn't even made it to the Super Bowl. I think they heard enough of that talk. They've been coming out. They had that slow start. They was 0-2, and they've been blazing ever since. Joe Burrow reminded the world it's one man in this world that owns Mahomes, and he wears number 9 for the Bengals. The Bengals, like you said, they did much of this, and their best receiver was out. That's a testament to the type of team that they have, that they can afford to lose an asset and still keep going. They still got Higgins. They still got Tyler Boyd. I mean, they've been doing it, and you know what? Don't look now, but they're 9-4 with the Ravens. The Ravens are a half game up, and this is the wrong time for Lamar to get hurt. The Bengals may steal that division again.
I don't even know if I would consider it stealing at this point. They look like the best team in that division, right? I'm going to make this a fandom kind of thing, because I'm going to come to you, John, because not only it's a lot of situations tying together, right? Those guys came in the same draft class, right? They're going to be forever linked. Burrow, Herbert, and Tua. And for much of their first couple of years, Tua's been looked at as the afterthought. Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm coming to you, sir. I'm coming to you. Jalen.
Got that big mouth down there.
It's funny. So for the first couple of years, it's been looked at as if Tua and even Jalen, to your point, have been the afterthoughts, right? People thought Burrow and Herbert were these studs and superstars. And early in this year, Tua looked to have established himself as a legit dog, right, in this league. Like, he can flat out play. But now with this resurgence, right, it's a two-part question, right? Like, has Joe Burrow reestablished himself as that guy? And then after Buffalo and Kansas City, I think we would all agree are the so to speak front runners. Is it your Dolphins or is it the Bengals?
You asking me or Eric?
I'm asking you. Your Dolphins.
I still think the Dolphins are ahead of the Bengals, man. Like, I still think the Dolphins are. I love what the Bengals have done, but I still think the Dolphins can hang with them. And the Bengals still got to win their division, too. I mean, it's not like they're winning their division. They still got to play the Ravens again. And, you know, so that division's not over. The Ravens are winning games. They're winning them ugly. But they're winning nevertheless, and they still lead that division. So, I mean, and I said if the Ravens were healthy, they would win the division. Ravens haven't exactly been healthy. They're going to get healthy. They'll get Lamar back, and they're going to take out the Bengals. Don't you worry. It's their division. They're the better team. Don't buy into this Bengals over the Ravens stuff. Wait until the Ravens get healthy. J.K. Dobbins is finally back. I don't want to hear none of that. They're going to crush the Bengals next time they play, and then we can stop this nonsense about the Bengals being one of the elite teams. Tired of this nonsense.
You mean
they're on a nice little
quick interjection.
Cleveland.
Real quick interjection. If the Dolphins are who you say they are, they win that game last night. That was a 6-6 team. But I know the Chargers are deep, you know. But no, if the Dolphins are who everyone is wanting to believe them to be, you win that game last night, man. Come on.
Look,
And two is an MVP,
look,
and,
the
and two
Bucks.
and two is an MVP conversation, right? He's supposed to
Let,
put them boys away.
so
He's
real
supposed
quick,
to win last night.
let me calmly disagree with something both of y'all just said. Uh, John, when you say, would you say, let's stop acting like the Bengals are elite? You mean the reigning AFC champion Bengals? Like,
That was a
I
fluke
don't,
run. That was a fluke
listen,
run.
man, you can call it what you want to call it. They're there, and the way they played these last 5 or 6 weeks, we can't act like it was a fluke. And Jay, let's be for real, right? Like the Chargers haven't been healthy all year, and last night was the first time we saw any semblance of all their weapons. Like Mike Williams was back last night, Keenan Allen was
Keenan
out there
Allen.
last night, and that offense looked like what we thought it was going to look like all year, right? So, like them at 6-6 is like, are they really 6? It's kind of like this, like. We're gonna talk about my Lions later, but the Vikings were an underdog and they were 10-2. You know why?
I don't
Because
understand.
nobody
that.
looked at their
You know
record
what?
and thought they were. You know what I mean? It just is
Yeah.
what it is. So your record isn't always indicative of who you are. Yeah, I'm gonna come to you, right? We're gonna shift and talk some NFC. He said, has the Bengals played anybody in the last 5 games other than Chiefs? You can't play nobody but who come out there on the field.
Exactly.
And truth be told, this ain't a shot. Loso, you a Cowboys fan. That's all people tried to do to y'all early in the season was who y'all played. You can't do nothing but go out and beat the teams that get put on the field in front of you. And the Bengals are beating the teams put on the field in front of
Ask
them.
him how that Texans Cowboys game went. He was probably sweating until Zeke ran that touchdown in with under a minute to go.
Hey, listen, he say to be named.
So much I can say behind
Again,
that, but man, go ahead.
They are the reigning AFC champions in a conference with the Bills and the Chiefs. They represented the AFC in Super Bowl last year. Those are the facts. I'm coming to you, E, because I'm going to shift. We're talking about teams that are surging. The Bengals are surging. There's a team in the NFC that started off not so. It started off at 3-4, as a matter of fact, and now they've won their last 6. They made a change at quarterback early in the year. Then they went out and got a stud running back, and now the second quarterback is hurt. Now they playing with Mr. Irrelevant, but the San Francisco 49ers are rolling. And they went out yesterday and made Tom Brady look like retirement. That's what he looked like. He looked like I shouldn't be here. They got smacked upside the head. And again, they did this with their third string quarterback, right? Everybody's talking about all the weapons in San Francisco. You got Debo, who prayers up for him. I don't think that injury is going to be too bad. Hopefully he's back in time for the playoffs. But you got Debo, IU, Kittle, McCaffrey, right? And that defense is playing. And I came to you first, E, because I'm curious. Y'all got the best record in the NFC, but a lot of people think the 49ers are the best team in the NFC. What say you, sir?
The record speaks for itself. You know, the record speaks for itself. I'm not going to sit here and say that any team is above anybody else because on any given Sunday, and it has been proven, any team can get got. With regards to the San Francisco 49ers, we asked this question several weeks ago. Are they a threat to Philly? And I'll be very honest with you. My answer right now is unequivocally yes. And that is with Mr. Irrelevant being relevant yesterday to the most relevant man in the entire NFL. Whether you're a fan or you're not a fan, when you think the NFL, who's one guy that you think of off top of the dome within the first 3, you're going to say Tom Brady. Tom Brady was back home in Santa Clara. Tom Brady was back where he fell in love with the game of football. And what happened yesterday? Tom Brady got beat by a man that no one knew who this guy was. John and I were at the draft in Vegas, and we couldn't have told you who Brock Purdy was. And we were there for all 7 rounds. But the fact of the matter is this: when Kyle Shanahan decided to go get this young man and then place him with an offensive line that bends it don't break, with a plethora of weapons, and again, I will echo the same sentiment. Debo, get healthy and please come back because what you do is just it's phenomenal. But speak to that defense as you did, Ray. It's ridiculous. That defense doesn't allow in the second half of a game. They don't allow teams to score. Okay. And everybody's talking about, oh well, we expected. Let me audible real quick. I love what Brock Purdy said in the post-game press conference. He said, "I've seen this guy come back and have memorable comebacks. So I knew that every time I was on the field, I had to put up points." That is not the mindset of a rookie quarterback. That is the mindset of a young man who understands the game and understands what lay before him and who he is facing on the other side. That's a man that's done his homework. So, for me, are the 49ers a threat to Philadelphia? Yes. Is Dallas a threat to Philadelphia? Yes. Are any of the other teams that are in the contention to be a threat to Philadelphia? Of course they are. But at the end of the day, the record is the record. We are in the playoffs. We have the 12-1 record. We still got 4 games to go. I will say what I've been saying all season long. 2 simple things. Be consistent, beat the Cowboys. That's it.
This might be the funniest comment ever on the sports arena. He said that man ain't been the same since his shorty bounced.
He got a new one. He got a new one.
So, Jay, I'm going to come to you. I shouldn't have went to Eric first because I didn't want him to take that personal about Philly. But the fact that
it's not personal.
No. I mean, I made it personal, right? I asked you
right.
as a fan, and that's your team. Philly is in the top of the NFC right now. But with what San Francisco's doing, let me ask you this question. If Jimmy G doesn't come back and they go into the playoffs with Purdy, what's the ceiling for this team?
It's crazy you asked that because I went.
This dude's so disrespectful, man. Like, yeah, go ahead, Jay.
I said I'm ready too, but you know what? They have an outside shot, and it sounds crazy because of everything you just mentioned. Their bend but don't break O-line. They have the number 1 defense in the league. That boy Bosa just might run away with DPOY. They got the weapons.
Real quick. We're gonna talk that later. Go ahead. I'm sorry I interrupted. Go ahead.
No, you good. But because of the team around him, and all you got to do is just ask Brock Purdy, just don't lose the game. Just don't lose the game. I think because of the team around him, they have an outside shot. I mean, shoot, Jimmy G he was a blown 10-point fourth quarter lead from his second Super Bowl in 3rd years. Do I think Purdy can do the same thing? It's possible. It's very possible.
I see you up there shaking your head. Talk to me, John, briefly.
I can't believe we're even entertaining this conversation. Like, you're really going to go into a playoff game and tell me that San Francisco going to walk into Philadelphia in an NFC championship or division round, whatever the hell you want to put it, and he's going to outplay Jalen Hurts? Come on, man. Like, ain't no chance in
real quick,
hell
let's
that's happening.
John, this kind of speaks to my point, right? And even with the talk about Burrow and Mahomes, nobody in their right mind thinks that Burrow is better than Mahomes. If you do, I'm not talking football with you. This is, again, football being the ultimate team sport. Purdy's not better than Tom Brady. He went out and won yesterday, right? Mm-hmm. You look at who sent. Like, the question was asked in the comments, who has Cincinnati beat? You see what San Francisco doing to people? They smacked your Dolphins.
Yes.
The playoffs are a different monster. We're talking playoffs, disagree. Right? Are we talking regular season or playoffs?
Listen, I don't disagree. I'm simply saying, you said, do you think he's going to go out there and outplay Jalen Hurts? He don't have to.
You don't?
Like, that's not how the 49ers are winning football games. They're not winning like, hey, Jimmy G got to go out and win this game for us. Purdy got to go out and win this game for us. That's why it hasn't mattered that Jimmy G's out.
I got a little secret for you. You go to Philadelphia and you try and play that, well, we just got to have a quarterback that doesn't turn it over. You're going to get your ass beat against Philadelphia. Look what the Giants tried to do when they didn't want to turn it over yesterday.
No disrespect to E.
They got beat by
to the Giants, right?
4 touchdowns? Come on, man.
No disrespect to E. No disrespect to his Eagles. But just last year, his quarterback was the guy that they were saying, hey, just go out there and don't lose the game. Right?
Exactly.
And now he's evolved into, like, he's out there balling this year. I'm simply saying, I don't know what this kid Purdy is. I don't know how good he can be. I just know everything around him. He has every opportunity to succeed, right?
And that's the difference.
Think about the guy he beat yesterday. When he first had his success, we ain't know who he was.
Right.
Now, I'm not going to go comparing everybody to Tom Brady. I'm simply saying everybody starts somewhere. Even, look, Loso in the comments, Dak Prescott's rookie year, he wasn't even supposed to be starting. Next thing you know, he goes 13-3. Mm-hmm. When you provided an opportunity, E's championship. They lose their starting quarterback. And what happens? They win the Super Bowl with Nick Foles.
Right.
So I'm just saying, like, that team has all the pieces in place, man, to be really, really successful. and we'll see how it goes, man. We're gonna pay
And we
some
don't give
bills.
enough love to the coaching staff. You know what I'm saying? I want to take a moment and recognize Kyle Shanahan and that whole coaching staff and D'Amico Ryans for what they're doing both offensively and defensively. Because I'll tell you what, D'Amico Ryan, listen, I'm all for black coaches getting their shot at a head coaching position. But with what you have in place, man, I would keep my position as the defensive coordinator, head coach, whatever your title is, and build something, man. Listen, if you get your shot at head coach, brother, go get it. I just hope it translates like Robert Saleh did. Now working with the New York Jets, I hope you are able to do the same. But man, we got to show a lot of love to these coaches because the structures that they have put together, and they're bringing in talent. You ain't had this talent for years. Now, some of it you had, but you're running out number 262 or 266 or whatever his number is, and you found a way to beat a team that at the beginning of the season, many people were saying, oh, it's Tom Brady, it's Mike Evans, it's Chris Godwin, it's Julio Jones. You got that offensive line, and then you've got this top 10 defense, which hasn't looked like anything. I mean, the four of us could run through that defense. I'm just going to call it what it is. And I got two bad knees and a bum arm right now.
I'm not going to come out with
Don't front. We seen you run that 40. We already know what it is.
Yeah, but I trust me. Trust me. Once I got about a week and a half left of training and getting this all healed up right here, and then it's going to be game time because I got to get ready for my 40. But aside from that, I just wanted to make sure we took a moment and recognize the coaches of the 49ers, the coaches of, the Kansas City Chiefs, of the Philadelphia Eagles, hell, even the Miami Dolphins. We didn't know what Mike McDaniel was going to do this year. And look what he has done with Tua, with Jalen Waddle, with Tyreek Hill, bringing in Bradley Chubb on the defensive side. I just wanted to make sure we took time and recognize them because they don't get a lot of love. We put it all on the players.
Quick.
Go ahead, because we got to go to break. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I know, and quick add to what he said, because I know that he was saying, well, do you think he's going to outplay Jalen Hurts? He really don't have to. That coach's job is to put him in a position to succeed. Just put Purdy in a position to win. That's it.
Eagles are a different animal than.
All right, hey, look, because we could talk about that all night long. Showing coaches love. Let's talk about Dan Campbell. Either way, let's go to break. We'll be right back talking.